For more now on the protests in the Southland, we want to bring in former Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb and attorney and RNC surrogate Mahek Cook. Mahek, I'm going to share a full screen. This is the President of the United States talking again about this idea that you just can't create chaos and not expect a reaction. He says this on X. These radical left protests by instigators and often paid troublemakers will not be tolerated. Also, from now on, masks will not be allowed to be worn at protests. What do these people have to hide, and why? I think it's a pretty fair question, although I think a lot of people would certainly understand. They love to create chaos, but they don't want their faces shown. Mahek.
Well, Kevin, this is astounding today because this isn't about race. This isn't about politics. It's about order and putting safety first and putting the American people first. You have President Trump that's actually acting like a president. And then you have Gavin Newsom out there that's acting like a protester. We cannot have these riots. We cannot continue to have lawlessness. We can't have individuals that are ICE members that are being, whether they're throwing Molotov cocktails at them. I mean, this is a type of activity that deserves law enforcement to push and make sure that these protesters are behind bars. We're seeing a full-blown Democrat derangement syndrome today because when you side with protesters over law and order, you're actually siding with individuals that are creating chaos. What about those small business owners? What about the individuals in LA that are getting harmed by these individuals? President Trump is well within his authority to not only put law enforcement there, but to put ICE there, to put our military there, to protect individuals in LA. I think it's appalling to see what's happening today. And Gavin Newsom is continuing to stand on the wrong side of history. And I'm seeing this in the entire Democrat Party. They're continuing to push for this derangement to allow for protesting, riots, loss of life, instead of protecting the American people. And I've said this, and I'm going to say this again. They're going to continue to lose elections until they put Americans first.
To that point, Sheriff Lamb, I think Mahek aptly points out the fact that it's one thing to protest. It's something else entirely to protest violently. You're setting fires and you're breaking things and you're putting people in harm's way. That's where I think a lot of people would say, I want to draw the line. And also, she made mention, and I think this is really important, she made mention of the fact that a lot of people are in danger. Not just the citizens of that city, but we're talking about the folks who are paid to be there to try to protect and serve those communities there and also to affect national policy as it relates to ICE. Let me share this. This is from Tricia McLaughlin. She's talking about the danger ICE and others are in when they face violent protests like this, especially when the governor of the state of California is either unable, or unwilling to step in. Listen to this.
Our ICE officers are facing a 413% increase in assaults against them. And why is that? It's because of the demonization by politicians like AOC, like Governor Gavin Newsom, and like Mayor Bass, who are calling them like the Gestapo, like Nazis. It is wrong.
ICE officers facing a 413% increase in assaults against them. That is a stunning number. And there's no question about this, Mark. This is what happens when the rhetoric and the violence ramps up.
100%, Kevin. I talked about it with you the other night. This is what happens when people like Tim Walz, who ran for vice president, and guys like Daniel Goldman and so many other elected officials on the left who have called them Gestapo and who have encouraged this kind of poor behavior. You can see over my shoulder the Constitution here in my office. I'm a firm believer in the Constitution. However, the First Amendment says you have the right to peaceably assemble to redress your grievances with your government. When you show up violently with masks on, that is not what the Founding Fathers intended when they gave us the First Amendment. And furthermore, some of these actions, Kevin, they're lucky that nobody has had a loss of life yet because they're using rocks to throw at agents. They're threatening not only serious physical injury, but death on those agents and other citizens. And these guys would be within their rights to use lethal force. So I'm glad that President Trump is bringing in the National Guard to quell this right away before somebody does get seriously injured or killed because of these violent actions encouraged by bad politicians.
Incredibly true, especially when I look at those pictures. I'm just struck again. I love Los Angeles. having lived in the Southland, I love it. I think it's a beautiful city, and the people there deserve better than what they're getting right now out of their leadership. And about 30 seconds to go for you, Mahek. What, if anything, can we expect in terms of arrests and what happens after? If it's local, chances are nothing will happen, is my prediction. But if it's federal, we could be looking at a horse of a different color. What do you think?
Kevin, this has to be federal because locals aren't doing enough to protect their citizens. You have Gavin Newsom that's whining and calling ICE inflammatory and demonizing them as, again, this is deranged hypocrisy on his part. He should be controlling the narrative, controlling his streets, but he's not. So we need federal prosecutions. Pam Bondi in the Attorney General's office needs to step in immediately so we make a clear directive for the American people that you will be safe under President Trump, regardless of who your feckless governor is.
Sheriff Lamb, wrap us up here in about 15 seconds or so. Your final thoughts. In fact, we have new live pictures here that are coming into Fox News. Again, you can see the staging being set up right there. This is a circumstance that has to happen for the safety and security, not just, again, of those who are charged with affecting national policy. The National Guard troops are also there to protect and serve the community to ensure that they are not the victims of rampant violence. Sheriff Lamb.
Weakness arouses evil, and you have weak leaders like Newsom and Bass who are arousing the evil and creating worse riots. I am glad that President Trump is showing strength, bringing in the National Guard, and quelling this evil once and for all.
Sheriff Lamb and Mahek Cook, thank you both so much for your time today. And Sheriff, I'll have you on speed dial as the news breaks here. Thank you both so much. Appreciate that.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.